Welcome to the Thorn City Spotlight Show. I'm Naeem Hall, the Thorn City podcast guy, here to help creators and entrepreneurs step out of survival mode and into the spotlight. We share real stories and practical strategies to help you turn your voice into revenue and your passion into impact. If you're ready to be seen, be heard, and be remembered, let's get it. These episodes mark the end of an era, the final recordings inside GMP Podcast Studios before the doors officially closed, and the beginning of something brand new, Thorn City HQ. Today, I'm breaking down how I landed my first podcast sponsorships before the numbers and before anyone believed it was possible. Because visibility isn't about fame, it's about focus. Welcome to the Thorn City Spotlight Show. Let's see. I might as well start at the beginning. Naeem Hall, the Thorn City podcast guy. I'm a podcast producer, content creator, entrepreneur. Recently accepted the fact that I'm a content creator. It's not the space I wanted to be in, per se, in front of the camera. I want to be the content creation behind the camera. But I never really saw myself as the content creator in front of the camera. But we're here now. That's where I'm at. I'm a content creator, host of the Thorn City Spotlight Show, and founder of Thorn City Syndicate. This entrepreneur journey and world is a beast. It's not for everybody. I started in 2014. So 2014 is when it started. My best friend, name's third twin, Roy Moore III. He's a hip-hop artist growing up. I believe he was 14 years old when he signed his first record contract. Locally with a local businessman, Mike Harrison. Shout out to Mike. So all through high school, and once we got out of high school, he was always a hip-hop artist. He always rapped. And I don't know how old we were, but at some point, he got caught in the fast life. Got hooked on pills and alcohol. That's what the fast life is about. Fast money, women, money, and alcohol. So that was what he got into. And so my guy was doing really bad, man. He was doing really bad. And I didn't like seeing my brother like that. So I decided to pay for some studio time. Told Third, man, we're going to get you back in the studio. Need you to do some music. It was a lot of local music going around at the time. The local music scene was really hot. And I needed some third twin music, man. There's a few artists out there I like that I was hearing good music from, but I'm biased. Third twin, he's better than all of them. He's better than everybody. Top 5 dead or alive, if you ask me. Like I said, I'm biased. And he's always told me there's no best, only favorites. Once you get into that upper echelon, it's really about your preference. Who do you like? A lot of people like Kendrick Lamar, but I know he's good and he can rap, but he don't really do it for me. I don't really like his style of rap, but I would never say he's a weak rapper because he can write. It's just not for me. Third twin's for me. And like I said, I think he's the best. So we got some studio time. We did a few songs. We traveled. We did some shows. We went to, where did we travel to? First show back was down in Eugene. The Get Money, Stop Hating tour. That was the first stop on the third comeback down in Eugene. So we did that show down there. We did some shows here in Portland. Then the Get Money tour. Like I said, it was a tour, so they had a bunch of dates. So I found a couple dates that I liked. So we flew down to Miami. We did a show at King of Diamonds, which is no longer there. That was a big club. Oh, man, it was huge. You're talking about fun. We got to go to South Beach. We got caught in a rainstorm, so I didn't know June was the rainy season down there. But it was still nice to be in Miami. I've never been to Miami. Check South Beach out. So we did the show at the King of Diamonds. Wish I had the footage, because y'all would never believe me when I tell you. They passed me the mic. I got on stage. Oh boy, it was fun. Let's just say I had a few drinks in me. Had a few drinks in me, and they said what they called Thurd's name, and so I'm just walking up there with him. I didn't plan on going on the stage, but they passed me the mic, and I was on one. I ain't gonna lie. It's feeling good. It's a good night, good times. So they passed me the mic, and shit, I performed. Good times, I tell you. So yeah, we did the show down there. Get Money, Stop Hating tour was in Houston. So we went to Miami, and from Miami we went to Houston, the Jet Lounge. That was dope. It was packed in there. That was fun down in Houston at the Jet Lounge. Then we came back to Portland and did some more shows here. Then we went to LA. We came back, then we went to South by Southwest. Who did we do that show with? I can't remember the name of those guys. But we actually did a show with them here. And they were in South by Southwest. So we went down there, down Austin, Texas. South by Southwest was tight. They say it's not the same after COVID, but it was dope. It was tight. We found a club. Me and Third, we gonna always have we gonna look like we somebody. So we looked like we're somebody, and Third's always, he's good with the mouthpiece. So we found a club, and that's the club we went to every night, because when we pulled up, they said, come on. Long ass line. They just let us in. We had our little spot in there, and the waitresses would take care of us. The last day, we went back to that same bar during the day, and they were having like some crawfish. I don't know what they call it, but there was just crawfish everywhere. And I can eat crawfish, but the only thing I don't like about crawfish is you do a lot of work to get a little piece of meat. You get a little piece of meat from the damn crawfish. But I took some Third Twin merch down there to the bartenders, and so they was behind the bar and they was rocking the Third Twin stuff, and so I actually did that. Third did that in Miami. He actually gave the girl his Thorn City chain. It was brilliant. He was, see, that's Third smart. He was brilliant. Took the Thorn City chain and he gave it to the bartender. So she was rocking the Thorn City chain all night while she's serving behind the bar down in Miami at the King of Diamonds. So that was pretty tight. She was bad too. I'd find a picture and post it. But yeah, so like I said, we was in Austin at South by Southwest, and we gave them the merch, and they, like I said, they did it again. They rocked the merch behind the desk. And something tight happened when we was down in South by Southwest. It's a brother out of Chicago, H3 Entertainment show. I did something with him online. I think he had a magazine or something. I hit him up and we got into his magazine. So I'm chilling in the bar. Third's outside down in Austin, Texas. And he had no clue, but he ran into Show. And Show was like, Third Twin. Yeah, I'm Third Twin. Oh, yeah. And so we took a picture with those guys from his artists from Chicago. So that was tight to be down there. Somebody recognized Third Twin, and he likes that type of stuff. So it was pretty tight. So yeah, we came back from South by Southwest. We went to LA. We did a show in LA at the world famous Viper Room. Y'all gotta stay tuned for the documentary, because some funny shit happened, and it's gonna be in the documentary. I guess I didn't mention that. This whole time, since 2014, I bought a camera and I'm capturing, recording everything. So we got a documentary coming. Third got married recently. So that's a perfect way to wrap up the documentary somehow. But now we just got a few interviews left to get. Man, and put it all together. Thought about it the other day. I'm gonna look up when those deadlines are for festivals, whether it's the next deadline or the one after that. But we gonna enter some festivals. It's gonna be tight. I promise you, we gonna win some awards. We won some awards with the Honesty video. So, the Honesty video, I didn't talk about that. Was this before? Yeah. This is before the traveling, I think. The honesty video. We shot a few videos. I needed a video. I went to Mike Harrison, to Complus, who signed third when he was 14. Told him I needed a video, and so he introduced me to my current business partner, Justin Gaddis. GMP. We wanted to do like a real video, like they do down, the stars do Hollywood. Shit, they do them here too, but it's got to be a budget. When I say real video, a video with a budget behind it, not you just like the other ones we did, where we just pick the location, we run and gun, and we hop out and we shoot, and he rap, and then we put it together. No, we wanted to do a real video. My guy Justin writes a script. We put a budget together. We hire a crew. Posted an ad on Craigslist for someone to do the script treatment. So take the script and put it into format to where we can go show up on set, know what we're doing. So that's what we did, and we got a hit from some pretty big guys in the comic world, the Panda brothers. My guys, Arnold and Jakob Pander. They're world-class artists. Their dad's even more of a world-class artist. Hink Pander. Y'all look up Hink Pander. So yeah, Arnold responded and said he wanted to do the treatment. He put together an animated video of what he thought the video should do, what we should do for the video. So once he agreed to do that, he asked us who was actually going to shoot the video for us. And so we were just going to do it ourselves once we got the treatment. But we seen some of their work and we're like, damn, these people, they're good. Let's let them do it. So they put together a budget for us. We raised some money. It wasn't cheap. They showed me that number. I said, oh, yeah, we can't do this. But we wanted to do it. And when we determined to do something, we're going to do it. So it was a big number. I don't know where I came up with the money, how I came up with the money. That was a time of a lifetime to do a real music video like that, put the crew together. I don't know if y'all know what the Grimm TV show is about. It was shot here in Portland, but we had a bunch of people from the Grimm TV show. Shout out to all those people, all them. Man, they did their thing. So we rented a spot. It's actually right down the street from here. They don't do productions there anymore, but we did it over Thanksgiving weekend. Nobody had nothing going on, and so it was expensive, but they still gave us a deal. Could have been more expensive. So we took 2 days and we shot the video. The guy third, he was in the depths of his addiction at that time. So he was loaded on set. They didn't know, but I knew. But I know one thing about third. When it's lights, camera, action, he find a way to get in the character. No matter how many pills he on or how many drinks he had, he gonna perform to the highest. So that's what he did. Shortly after the video, third went and got clean, man. He checked himself in the rehab for probably the 4th or 5th time. He had been trying, but they say it usually don't happen on your first try. So you just got to keep trying, man. He never gave up. He checked himself in, and this time it worked. He just celebrated 8 years clean. I'm telling you, he don't do anything. He don't drink. He don't smoke weed. He don't smoke cigarettes. Only thing I think he might drink coffee. That's his one vice he might have now. But he's clean of everything, man. I'm so proud of that guy. We entered that video to some film festivals all over the world, not just in the country and the nation, but all over the world. And we won a few awards all over the world. We got accepted in the 10 festivals And I think we won 4. We won 4 awards for best music video. We got to travel to New York to the hip hop film festival. First time in New York. That was tight. To not only go to the Big Apple, New York, but actually have a reason to go. And so the film festival was tight. Hip hop film festival, even though they cheated us. But I ain't mad at them. We had the experience of a lifetime. We ran into a couple people, ran into my guy, Mitchell Jackson out there. The author. What's that big award authors win? Pulitzer. I think he might have one of those. He's a big deal. He's from Portland. We ran into him in the bar. Just randomly walked into a bar and my guy Mitch was there. So that was tight. We ran into a brother walked up on us. He just asked who we were and what we was doing. And he turned out to be Charlucci. I look up Charlucci. He's a big deal out there in New York. And he took us in to meet Eric B. He said we had just missed Rakim, but we got to meet Eric B. So that was dope. Man, it was just tight. We actually shot a music video when we was down there for Rebel. Arnold was with us. I'm glad we brung Arnold just for that, to get the music video. And he was doing our social media at the time, so it was only right that we have him there. I was doing good. Man, we said, Arnold, you want to come? All right, we get you a ticket too. So I'm glad he came though, because we was able to shoot a video, man. And that video will live on forever. Rebel. Shot it on the stoops out there in the neighborhood in Harlem. We shot on the subway, and then we shot at Times Square. And you ain't supposed to shoot. You got to have permits and pay probably thousands and thousands of dollars to shoot there. But we figured out our way to do it, and we did it. And so that was tight. Man, so we came back. I think we had a good 6-month run down at Jack London. It's at the bottom of Rialto's. They got the Rialto's pool hall upstairs, and downstairs they have a music venue called Jack London. We had Sunday nights down there. They called it Soul Sundays. We did an open mic night down there, basically. Third will perform, and then we invite some people, and we share the stage with them. And so we had a 6-month run. Shout out to my guy Rich Hunter for hooking that up for us. That was tight. I wish COVID wouldn't hit, because I think we was just getting our footing down there, and people were starting to show up, but it was still tight to have a what I like to call, what they do in Vegas, a residency. Third he basically had a residency down here. Every Sunday night, he was going to do a show. He's going to do some songs. Him and my guy, shout out to DJ Wicked. That was our DJ. They was tight together. Wicked's a real old school hip hop DJ, vinyl. All the real old school hip hop DJs, because they still only do vinyl. And that's all he does is vinyl. So they was tight. So we had that. We did a show at Roseland with Bone Thugs and Harmony, sold out show. Now that was dope too. I think we've done a few shows, but we had never done a sold out show. So to open up for Bone and do a sold out show was pretty tight. I remember going out and getting the computer and stuff setting up, and it was a few people in there. And then going back to the back and then coming back out front to see where we was at and when we was finna go on, and just being jam packed in there. And I was like, wow, damn. That was tight. So that was tight to see the Legends Bone and open up for them. Then we did the album release party for the EP. We did put out the EP, put out the 4 songs on the EP, streaming on all the platforms. So y'all check out the Honesty EP. Let's see, My Story is the first song. Did What I Had to Do, featuring Sassy, The Honesty, and The Rebel. 4 songs. That's on the EP. Y'all go check that out on all the streaming platforms. We opened up for Black Alicious down at the Star Theater, right across from the Roseland. And that was a good turnout, actually, too. So that was dope. Then COVID hit. Music stopped. No more shows. Man, we was just picking up steam. I know we was finna do something. Life be lifing, and so COVID stopped everything. And so you gotta do audible. Figure out the next move. So my guy Justin was roommates with a good guy named Tim James, the health hero. He sells health supplements. Business wasn't doing so good. So they decided to start him a podcast so he can market and advertise his products and services, his coaching services through the podcast. 'Cause that's all a podcast is really, man. It's marketing and advertising. So you either going to sell your marketing and advertising spots to somebody else or you're going to market and advertise your own. So you're always going to make most money if you do your own. You can sell spots for a few dollars here and there, but it ain't going to add up to you making a whole bunch of sales. So that's what Tim's done. He's been off and running. He just released 250 something or 280 something. He's getting close to 300 episodes. He never missed a week. So he's just been going strong, man. He recently rebranded his show from the Health Hero to Tim James Unleashed. Shout out to Tim. But that's how we got into the podcast business, man. So after Tim, we started shooting a couple other podcasts. We were renting some studio space downtown. Eventually, like I said, he hit me up and was like, man, we should really get into this podcast stuff. And so the GMP brand, Gaddis Motion Productions, is the production company. Thorn City Syndicate is the management company. And so we came together to open up the GMP Podcast Studios. That's how I got into the podcast business. So after a few years of helping other people launch their podcasts, I'm sitting in the office back there by myself, just in my thoughts. And that's this journey with business and entrepreneurship. Sometimes you just got to sit back and reflect and try and figure out the next move. What can you do to move the journey along? And so that's what I did. I was sitting back there. That's where I'm at now also. What can I do to keep the journey alive and on the move? But back then I was thinking, what do I do? How can I help my business, his business, our business? I said, talking to myself, try and convince other people that they need a podcast for their business. So I said, you should probably start a podcast. And so I said, probably should. I didn't want to. I'm an introvert. I don't like to talk. I'm a quiet person. I'm chill. I'm behind the scenes. I'll talk if we're in a meaningful conversation and I got some good input, but I don't just, some people just talk to be talking. That ain't me. So I wish I had a little more extrovert in me. But hey, it is what it is. You are who you are. But I did come to the conclusion that I needed a podcast. And so I said, I'm going to do it. Came up with the Thorn City Syndicate Spotlight Show. It's really one of the oldest tricks in the book. It was a spotlight show. Because talking to a couple different business people, and they said, you know, what really helped them take off is it's not about what you can do for yourself. What can you do for others? And so the Spotlight Show is what I came up with, the Thorn City Syndicate Spotlight Show. All about the power of networking, forming strategic alliances. That's business in a nutshell for you. Those partnerships and alliances and people who can open up doors that other stuff can't open for you. Money can't open for you. Being in business for 20 years can't open for you. But if you have a relationship of 20 years with somebody who's in position to do something, that door can open for you. So that was the theory behind the Spotlight Show, the power of networking and forming strategic alliances. So started the show. One of the other main reasons I wanted to start the show was because I hadn't been able to figure out all the podcasts I started, I wasn't able to figure out how to get a sponsorship for somebody's show. Because there's few ways to get sponsorship. Like I said, if you know, through relationships. The other easy way is to just have a bunch of eyeballs on your show, views and viewers and subscribers. If you got those numbers, you can get those people to sponsor you because they only care about who can you put them in front of. But when I started my show, I didn't have the numbers. So I started working on the relationships I had, actually. So shout out to my guy, Dre Cut, over there at Wooden Fish. He hosts something called Success in Me. He has a Success in Me program at one of his Wooden Fish locations, where weekly he would invite a speaker and people to just meet up and talk business and see if there's a meeting in their minds and how somebody can help somebody. And so I went to one of his meetings. And at that meeting, he had Rivermark Community Credit Union Bank speaking. So I made a connection, introduced myself, and got their card. And it's a great event, man. If y'all free, go to one of his events. I'm going to try to get him on here and come talk about what he done, because he's a smart brother. He got a lot of haters out here, but if you're doing something, you're going to have haters. That's just part of the game plan, but they hate him. You still have your love, and them the ones you focus on, the people who love you and appreciate what you're doing, and you helping them. Hey, that's what it's about. Who can you help? So I came back after that meeting, and I looked into Rivermark. How can I connect with these people? So I found out the Rivermark, they host a monthly spotlight on one of their local businesses. I said, the spotlight, they have a spotlight. I got the spotlight show. So I put together an email, hit my assistant up, ChatGPT. When I put something together and I hit send, and I pitched them my idea of, you guys got a spotlight. So maybe who's ever in your spotlight, maybe they can be in my spotlight on my spotlight show. And so that's what we did. I actually went and they put me in the spotlight over at the bank. I think I've done a couple of them. I put the proposal together and they say, yeah, we'd love to sponsor your show. I was only asking for a sponsorship for one episode, really. You got to get your foot in the door. And so they said, yeah, we'll sponsor 4 episodes. It was at the end of the year. It's like right now, we can't do it right now. Our funding's up for the end of the year, but top of the year, we'll get back to you. And yeah, we'd be happy to sponsor a couple episodes. So top of the year rolled around. And what do you know? They hit me up. And so they sponsored 4 episodes. And so I said, yeah, there it is. You can get a sponsorship. It's all about relationships and who. It's not always about the numbers of people you can put people in front of. You just got to have something. You got to be serious about something you're doing. And if it correlates with what they're doing, you have a meeting of the minds and you come together. And so that's what we did. So they sponsored 4 episodes, man. So I appreciate Rivermark Community Credit Union for that. And then through the Rivermark Community Credit Union, they told me they were hosting a meetup somewhere. I forget, it was a local bar. They invited me. So I went. And I met quite a few people. I probably should circle back around on some of those people. But I met somebody there. He worked for Travel Portland. And so I connected with him. He said, man, if you ever need a space to shoot your podcast at, you can use the Travel Portland space. I think they had just gotten to this new space. They hadn't been there for so long. So I said, bet. Yeah, let's do it. And so I hit him up. Probably a month or so went by. I hit him up and said, I'll shoot an episode down there. Can I get you on the show? He said, sure, absolutely. But I would like to bring somebody else with me. And so that's what we did. We showed up, did the podcast down there at Travel Portland. And I got this thing I like to do when I'm interviewing people. You just throw something out there and see what happens. And so I don't remember exactly what I said. There's like They looked around, they seen our setup, they seen all the stuff we had going. They was like, man, this costs some money. Yeah, costs a couple dollars, but we spotlighting you. So no, we want to sponsor you. So shit, yeah, it worked. So man, they sponsored that episode, man. So I got a total of 5 sponsors when I was setting out to get one, just to see that I can do it. And so that was dope. So that I'll fast forward a little bit to today now. Business is tough, I tell you. This entrepreneur journey, it ain't for everybody. But you got to find a way. You got to find a way. When you got something good, and I believe we got something good, I know we got something good. Got to find a way to keep going, man. So I've always been on my Uber, DoorDash, Lyft hustle, so that ain't never stopped. That's easy money if you like to drive. So I'm always get my few hours in every day. If we ain't got nothing going on at the studio, I'll be out driving Uber and Lyft, DoorDash. Really more Uber and Lyft these days. I did Uber and Lyft. Let's see. I started, actually, Lyft wasn't here at all when I started. Uber wasn't even here when I started. But I don't know where I was at. I had to be on social media or something popped up. You earn X amount of dollars driving your own car, doing Uber, basically cab service. I've actually thought about being a cab driver before, but I never actually did it. With the Uber, I seen the Uber. I said, oh, damn. I've been off and running ever since 2014. Didn't know what we was going to call it. We went through a bunch of stuff. My guy Third came up with Thorn City. Thorn City, shout out to Micah, my guy DBS. He said it in the song one time, Thorn City. And that's where I believe Third got it from. So he got the Thorn City, and I put the syndicate on the end. Syndicate, it really just means company. That's really what it means. I know when people think syndicate, they think the mob. So, but that's what makes it tight too. But it means just company business. That's how I found it. I typed in, what was it called? Synonyms for company or business. I can't remember what I said, business or company. And they gave me a bunch of words, and the syndicate came up. I said, ooh, that's tight. Thorn City Syndicate. That's it, Third. So we ran with it, man. So, like I said, 2014, man, it's 2025. We're 11 years deep, a little over 11 years. May 15th is when is my anniversary date. So 11 years strong, man. And I'll tell you, man, I don't regret any moment, any day, any year, any week of this journey, but it ain't been easy. It's not easy. It's fun. It's frustrating. It's tough. It's tough. Business is tough. Being an entrepreneur is tough. That's why it's not for everybody. And everybody can't do it. Some people just need to do their 9 to 5. Sometimes I've had my thoughts of, man, do I need to go back to my 9 to 5? No, you don't. But I could go back and get my job back at Reed if I wanted it. Shit, I might even be able to get one of the supervisor jobs if that's what I wanted to do. That ain't what I want to do. I don't want to punch nobody's clock no more. I don't mind working at all, putting in the hours, but independent contractor style, to where I go when I need to go. And to be honest, you end up doing more work that way. Your regular job, you're going to get 40 hours. You don't put in 40 hours your week, maybe some overtime, but entrepreneurial world, man, who knows? You might work 100 hours, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 hours that week. But it's easy to put those hours in when it's for you. When you're working for yourself, it's easy to put those hours in. And so that's where I'm at, man. And it's tough in business. Sometimes you might be doing something and it's working for you. It's working for you. But at some point, it stopped working for you. And so you have to think, like I said, you got to do some self-reflecting. You got to sit back and say, damn, what do I do next? And so that's where I'm at, sitting back again. what we've been doing is we've been working and working, but slowly stop working. That just means you got to pivot a little bit and try something new and think of new ways. And sometimes you got to go back to the basics. And so that's where I'm at, man. I had to go back to the basics. My guy Jamal Lane and his wife Christina Lane over at CBI, the Champion Barber Institute, up on MLK and Killingsworth. They got a barber school over there. They got a couple barbershops around. They were starting a new program to go with what they started. Like I said, you keep doing stuff, but sometimes you got to do more. And so for them, they're doing stuff, but they got to do more too. And so they got into, they call it the Strictly Business Program to help entrepreneurs out. It don't matter what part of your journey you're at, they can help you. And so that's what I did. I signed up for their program, the Strictly Business Program. We've been going for about a month now or so. It's a 3-month program. It's been really good for me, man. Like I said, you got to go back to the basics because people go to school for this, for business, and you learn a lot of stuff. I didn't go to school, the school of hard knocks. We just jump in and figure it out as you go. So it's been good to go back and learn some of the basics to doing a business. I've had business plans. I put together a business plan, but it's time for me to put together another business plan at the point where I'm at now. And so that's what I'm doing with them. We started with our first meeting was a SWOT analyst. It's the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so I met with them and we went through the analyst and we met for about an hour and they asked me a bunch of rapid fire questions and put it up on the board and we talked about it. They walked me through what they thought. Because like I said, I've known Jamal since high school. He's always been a well-spoken brother, always on his dean and somebody you can look at and be like, yeah, that's a good brother. He's doing his thing. When they opened the school up, I went up there. I started getting my hair cut up there. So they've been knowing me for a while. I've been in this spot in business, to be honest, just trying to figure out how do I keep going? What can I do? What's the next move? I'll do the live show. Sometimes I'll have in-studio guests. Sometimes I'll do this by myself, and the live show is really just a content creation session. But yeah, the Strictly Business Program, it's been good. Like I said, they had me put a new mission and vision together. Like I said, back to the basics, man. Where I was when I got into this business is not where I'm at now. So you got to rethink things sometimes. And like I said, back to the basics. So new mission, new vision. We opened the studio up and I've been focused on the studio. I ain't really been doing the Thorn City Syndicate management because it started with music and artist management. And so it's really been, how do I figure out what I want to do with that? But it turned into this management. So I've been managing the studio, day-to-day operations and whatever we need, figuring it out, managing that way. But I'm getting into the Strictly Business Program. It's allowed me to think about how can I get back into my Thorn City Syndicate management stuff and re-energize that? Because like I said, I don't see myself getting back into music like that. I don't see any artists out here who I would buy into, have the belief in, like my bro, Third Twin. So you gotta have those beliefs. But what I can do is I can do my management company here in this world of podcasting. GMP is a production company. I wish I had this when me and Third was doing it. GMP is a production company and content creation station. So when we come here, we can create all the content we need. Everything's digital now. So Thorn City Syndicate Management is becoming a digital brand management company. Is what I think I want to call it. I'm still working through that, through the business program, what exactly I want to call it. But I can operate like the music business in a sense. Instead of rap artists, hip hop artists, or whatever kind of artists, you can manage the content creators the same way. So Thorn City Syndicate needs to become the management and, how do I want to say it, the lead magnet for this place. So I need to bring people in who needs help managing their brand digitally. And the first order of business is unique content. So you got to come create here at the studio. So I'm still figuring all that out, how I want to word all that. But the mission is really about content creators and business owners. That's my target market. I've always had a problem niching down. It's really business is about niche. If you drive, you see all the different businesses open, they're a niche. It's a niche. So they focused on their one business. Me, I've always done a lot. So it was hard for me to figure out what's my niche. And so that's what this is allowing me to do, really, is to niche down like I really need to do. But I got a new mission. The Thorn City Syndicate mission is to help creators, entrepreneurs by providing creative consulting, high quality production, and creative content solutions designed to elevate and expand your message so you can be seen, heard, and remembered. I got to get into the advertising dollars. That's where it's at. That's the one thing I haven't been able to conquer in the podcast spaces. It's getting into the advertising money. That's where the money's at. The billions of dollars is coming into podcast advertising these days. So how do I get my own advertising space going? So that's coming. I'll tell you guys more about that later. That's part of the Strictly Business program, getting into that. And then the vision is just to build a network where creators and entrepreneurs can produce, promote, and grow. As a management company, we specialize in podcast production, strategic marketing, multimedia advertising to drive visibility, engagement, and monetization. That's it. So that's the focus. That's the mission, the vision. It's really time for me to tell my story. So it's my face, my voice, my story. The message is we shine the spotlight, build platforms, create content, and tell stories that deserve to be seen and be heard. I didn't just build Thorn City Syndicate and GMP Podcast Studio as businesses. I built them as platforms. Not just producing shows, creating a space for entrepreneurs to be seen, be heard, and be remembered. Thorn City Syndicate is a bridge between vision and execution, providing coaching, production, and training to help creators rise, build, and be seen. So that's the gist of it. If anybody want to learn how to produce podcasts, I got some thoughts on training. I really need somebody who can do this job. I don't have nobody to do that part. So if I can get somebody here to do that part, which I'm looking for. So anybody out there who's into video, into audio, you want to learn how to produce podcasts and broadcast live, how we do, hit me up. And then I got the other side. I'm partnering with a company that will offer all the back end stuff I need, the social media management, the websites, you name it. I'm going to be able to do it with them. So that's coming down the line. So y'all stay tuned. Thorn City Podcast guys out here, man. We'll figure it out, figure a way. Damn, it's 9:30. I guess I got some Tim James in me tonight. This talking by yourself is different, but I had some stuff to talk about, so it was easy. But it's tight. It's good for me. It's what I need to get some of this in me. So y'all tune in next week. I'll pick back up where I left off. I think I got what I need for tonight. Thorn City Podcast guy. Holla at your boy.
What man? What power? Hoodoo.
I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of the Thorn City Spotlight Show, where we network and build connections, interviews, and discussions. Until next time, I like your boy, Thorn City Podcast guy. I'm out.
You remind me of a man.